Hello and welcome. I see we are just opening up our session here. As you'll see on your screen, you've reached the Imperial College Business School Executive Education Informational Program webinar. We're going to be learning all about this upcoming course here at Imperial College Business School. The course is in Business Analytics, from data to decision. So how can we really use data in a way to make better business decisions? So this is an upcoming program here at Imperial College Business School, and we are joined here today by one of the program faculty members who's here to tell us all about the program, how it's been designed, and what you can expect out of your learning experience. As we make our way through this next hour or so together, we're going to be touching on two key themes here today. In terms of this program, we're going to be learning all about the curriculum. So what are you going to be learning here? What exactly do we mean from data to decision? So we're going to describe that curriculum for you, give you sort of that behind the scenes look at this program. The other piece of it that we'll be talking about is how that learning is delivered. So what is the learning experience? How is that content unfolding across this program? What can you expect as a learner? So if you're here to learn more about what it's like to be a participant in this program, if you're here to determine whether or not this is the right place, the right program for you, then that's what we're going to be doing here together across this next hour or so. Would you like to say hello here to the audience? Let them know a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wolfgang Biesemann. It's great to see you all here today. Thanks for taking the time to have a look at the program and to see whether it's suitable for you. I'm going to be jumping in whenever the connection drops, but for now, I think I first pass on to you again, Marie, and I get my chance to introduce myself in more detail in probably 2-3 slides, if I recall it correctly, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're going to set the context for you a little bit, but thank you, Professor Biesemann, for jumping in, and certainly very pleased to have you here with us today. I'm going to hand over the spotlight here in just a moment back over to Professor Biesemann, but we did want to take a moment just to formally welcome each and every one of you here to the session. This is a picture here of Imperial College London on your screen, and we're not together in person, but we want to create that community environment here in this online space. So certainly if you haven't done so already, let us know in the chat that you're here. The other thing to note, so with that, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Imperial, giving you a better understanding about this community that you're joining. And then very shortly, I'm going to hand that spotlight right back over to Professor Biesemann, who's going to take us through the what and the how of the way that this program is designed. So he's going to take us through that module by module experience and give us a better understanding of those key learning objectives for this program. As promised, we'll end in questions, so a lot of opportunity for you to speak with us here today. Let us know in the chat or in the question box what's on your mind. So Professor Biesemann, you can see here, is a professor of analytics and operations at Imperial College Business School. He's here with us to tell us all about the program, and we have a slide here in just a moment that gives you more information about Professor Biesemann's background. But certainly, as you think about joining this larger community, he's on the faculty here at Imperial, and we wanted to give you some information about, what you can expect from Imperial College and from a learning experience here. And so this slide here kind of covers some of the statistics. If you're a numbers person like me, you can take a look over at the right. But really the thing that we want to call your attention to here is that pedagogical approach to the learning that really is immersed within all of Imperial College programs. So certainly the mission here is to drive that global innovation. So to drive business transformation and social transformation through leveraging the fusion of business, technology, and an entrepreneurial mindset. So really hoping you to think in an innovative way. So as you explore themes and topics at Imperial College Business School, it's really all geared towards helping you to bring your ideas and bring your knowledge into a place of action so that you can make a mark on the world and leave that transformative impact. So they're doing this here at Imperial. We're doing this here at Imperial by developing solutions for real world issues. So throughout the entire program, the examples that we draw upon, the case studies that we look at, that are all based in a true story, real world issues, helping us to really benefit from the knowledge that's out there in industry and in practice. Thought leadership at Imperial is sought out by governments, policymakers, and global business leaders. World-class researchers are pioneering practical solutions, again, actionable practical solutions to help go from a place that's conceptual or theoretical to a place that is actionable. And doing that in part through programs such as this one here that leave a lasting impact. So that's that broader context as you think about this community that you're joining. You're joining an innovative community and one that's really designed to help support your learning and help you to get into that place of being able to apply these concepts in real time within your organization and within your work. So we wanted to give you that understanding before we now move on here to introducing more fully your two program faculty. First, we have Dr. Alex Ribeiro Castro, who's a data scientist at Imperial College. You'll see some of his accolades listed here, and I won't go through all of the details, but when you get copies of the slides, I want to encourage you to come back and take a look at some of the research background and industry background that both of your professors bring to this program and bring to this curriculum. Professor Wiesman, who is here with us today to tell us about the program, is a professor of analytics and operations, as well as someone who does research in the methodological aspects of decision-making under uncertainty and machine learning. So as you're thinking about this data to decisions, really taking that structured approach to decision-making, particularly under uncertainty. So that's kind of the overarching research background and interest that you have there, Professor Wiesman, but I'll let you talk more about your background and what you bring to the program. I'll go ahead and hand the spotlight over to you now. Just one final reminder to place those questions in the question box for Professor Wiesman. And with that, we warmly invite into the spotlight our keynote faculty presenter to take us through the program content. Thanks again for being here with us today.
Thanks a lot, Marie. Again, a warm welcome also from my side. Thank you all for taking the time to spending this hour with us and discussing some issues around some points about the program and analytics in general. So Marie already introduced me. Let me just tell you, I'm also the academic director of our on-campus master's program in business analytics at the Imperial College Business School, which is one of the flagship programs at the business school. I think we currently have about 90 master's program places, and we get about 2,500 applications for those places. I'm also a fellow of the Imperial Business Analytics Center, and I've spent probably about the last 15 years of my career on analytics related problems. So my background is in decision-making and uncertainty, and more recently over the last 5 years or so, I have worked quite a bit on the interface of machine learning and optimization. Great. So with that, let's move into the program. Let me tell you a bit more about what to expect. Before I start with this program outline, let me just tell you there are actually 2 Imperial programs on machine learning that involve me on the Emeritus website. Let me try to make clear the differences between these 2 programs. So there is this program here, which I deliver with Alex Ribeiro Castro. It's called Imperial Business Analytics from Data to Decisions. And this program will give you a broad overview of analytics. You will understand how to deal with data using the tools on probability theory and statistics. You will learn how to make inference from data using machine learning, as well as taking decisions based on data, which is a field that people call optimization. And will also introduce you to the art of coding in Python. There is a second course, which is called Imperial Machine Learning for Decision Making, which is shorter and which is much more focused on machine learning and somewhat more advanced. It has some additional theory on predictive performance, learning theory, and so on. So today we'll be talking about the program delivered with Alex Ribeiro Castro, which is Imperial Business Analytics from Data to Decisions. And that program will be delivered over 5 modules, which spread over 16 weeks. In module 1, we actually the first 2 modules, module 1 and 2, are primers, Module 1 is our mathematics primer, and module 2 is our Python primer. So in module 1, we cover the math that is necessary for the remainder of the program and the math that puts you on a good footing in the analytics world. So we review some of the probability theory basics. We discuss Bayes' rule, which is very important in machine learning and data analytics in general. We discuss the law of total probability, some common probability distributions that we need, as well as the central limit theorem. That's module 1. Then in module 2, we're going to cover the basics of programming using Python as our programming language of choice. And here we'll really start from first principles. We walk you through how to install Python using the Anaconda implementation. We discuss variables and what types of variables there are in Python. We discuss data structures such as lists, types, dictionaries, as well as how to define and use functions in Python. So those are the 2 primers. Please bear in mind that this is not all there is about math and stats and Python. Through the remainder of the program, through all the remaining 14 weeks after the 2 primer weeks, we will further refine our math knowledge and our programming skills. But that's giving us the basics that we need in order to progress with the material. And it's good. For many of you, it will be a reminder of what you may already partially know or have known in the past, but it makes sure that we all start with the same understanding and that we all have sufficient knowledge to understand everything that follows, to make it self-contained in some sense. We then move on to module 3, which is about descriptive analytics. So basically statistics, and what we discuss here are things like the differences between correlation and causation. We discuss maximum likelihood estimation, which is an extremely broad and popular approach to obtaining estimators. We discuss some popular statistical estimators, such as the mean, the median, and the mode. We discuss what outliers are and how to detect them, as well as linear regression. So that's in module 3. Then moving on to module 4 on the next slide, we are moving to predictive analytics. And you can see we spent a good 4 weeks on predictive analytics, which is basically machine learning. We start with an introduction where I will try to explain to you the major dividing lines in machine learning. I'll discuss what supervised and unsupervised learning is about, what the difference is between prediction and classification problems, and what parametric versus non-parametric approaches are. I will also discuss a bit with you the machine learning landscape, how the different methods that we will get to know fall into this terminology that I was just describing. And I will discuss with you the idealized process of a machine learning project. Then after the introduction, we will go through 4 major classes of machine learning methods, namely nearest neighbor methods, decision trees, support vector machines, and clustering techniques. And the important thing here is that for each of those method classes, we're going to discuss not just how those methods work, but we will also encounter general concepts in machine learning that apply to all different types of methods. So for example, in our material for nearest neighbors, we will also discuss the importance of scaling and normalization of variables. And we discuss the differences between training sets, validation sets, and test sets, as well as the ubiquitous bias variance trade-off in machine learning, which is the trade-off between underfitting and overfitting. Then after nearest neighbor methods, we discuss decision trees, so-called classification and regression trees. We will learn all the theory that is behind there, what the entropy is, what information gain is about, how we can construct decision trees, as well as how we can prune them. And we will also discuss tree ensembles. So we will discuss things like bagging, boosting, and random forests. After decision trees, we look at support vector machines. we start with what people call hard margin support vector machines. And we will see that hard margin support vector machines suffer from two issues that it can't deal with very well, and that is nonlinear relationships and the presence of outliers. And that will motivate us to study the so-called kernel trick, which will allow us to model nonlinear relationships, as well as so-called soft margin support vector machines, which allow us to deal with outliers. And then finally, we will also discuss the concept of cross-validation in support in that week where we discuss support vector machines. Cross-validation is very important. You'll see that being used very frequently in practice, but I dare say that many people don't quite understand how cross-validation works, why it works, and what the intuition is underlying there. So we will take our time and study that in detail. And then finally, towards the end of module 4, we will be discussing clustering techniques. So it turns out the nearest neighbors, decision trees, and support vector machines, those are all methods that fall under the umbrella of supervised learning, whereas clustering techniques are a popular class of methods that belong to the area of unsupervised learning. We will discuss both hierarchical clustering as well as k-means clustering, and we'll discuss practicalities that arise when you want to apply clustering in reality, in particular, how we can assess the quality of a clustering. So that's module 4, predictive analytics, basically machine learning. Moving on to module 5. Module 5 will be about prescriptive analytics. That will be about taking decisions from data. And we will be covering two broad areas there that are known under the names of linear programming and integer programming. In linear programming, we will start with some examples of linear programs, very applied examples that appear in many different businesses. We will look at problems of production planning, supplier sourcing, and a couple of other examples. And we will use those problems to understand what linear programs are, as well as how we can solve them using Excel, using Python, as well as a specialized software package that is called Ample. Similar with integer programming, we start with a range of examples. We start with a capital investment problem. We then look at a personal scheduling problem. And then we have a look at how we can formulate so-called logical constraints there. And again, we look at how we can solve integer programs on a computer. The entire program ends with a capstone project, which will be an end-to-end data science project that you will run, starting with a data set and some managerial questions. You need to investigate the data set. You need to explore the data set, possibly clean the data, and then draw your insights from the data set. The capstone project can either be a project that you bring yourself, or you can choose from some of the projects that we have prepared for you. And then finally, there's a word on case studies as well. It is our conviction that you will be able to learn best and with the best long-term impact, the concepts that you learn in this program through realistic examples rather than just theory. So you will see that our program contains a healthy dose of case studies ranging from a recommender system for an online music platform to production planning problems, supplier sourcing problems, capital investment problems, personal scheduling problems, a range of other problems as well. So in my experience also when teaching on campus, if I would show you the material in some kind of theorem proof style, then very likely after a few weeks you have forgotten most of it. Whereas if you see the material come to life in realistic examples, hopefully you can, even after months or years, you can still remember, okay, I used that method back then to solve this and that problem. That's our idea, and that in our experience that works very well in practice. That's it from my end for the description of the program. I'll pass back to you, Marie.
Hi there. I think I'm coming back. There we go. Thank you, Professor Wiesman, for taking us through that content, and particularly for staying on with us to tell us more about the case studies. Can I ask you, as you describe the case studies here, and as you're thinking about the ways in which this program was the program designed to be industry agnostic? Are these representative of the industries that you'll learn about, or are these case studies going to help folks who maybe fall outside of these industries apply these concepts and themes as well? If you don't mind, if I can put you on the spot a little bit on that one. We often get the question about whether or not this program is designed for my industry. So how can case studies really help to kind of broaden out that scope of understanding? Do you mind jumping in on that?
Thanks, Mari. That's a very good point. And that is indeed a question, a very valid and relevant question that we often receive. Is fine, Wolfram, you are covering all those different case studies, but I work in industry X and I don't see any of those case studies directly applying to that industry. While we look at case studies from specific industries, mostly in order to give you an overview of the breadth of potential applications, what we learn is by no means restricted to those industries. In fact, the case studies are chosen in such a way that you will hopefully see, even though the case study takes place in a particular industry, the insights that you can get from the case study easily apply to a variety of other industries as well. So this program is intentionally designed to be industry agnostic in the sense that no matter in what industry you work, there should be plenty of insights that you can take out of this program for your industry. No matter whether you work, I don't know, in the chemical industries, whether you work in manufacturing, whether you work in IT, whether you work perhaps in finance or even for a charity. I have worked on many consulting projects as well as student projects in the past, and I can safely say that the material here has been relevant to many different areas, even those that are not covered explicitly through case studies in the program.
Thank you so much, Professor Wiesman, for giving us that next layer detail. And certainly, if you've never been in a course that does case study analysis, it is a really critical way to learn, particularly if you're trying to bring about theoretical concepts into a place of action. Really examining some based in a true story, real world examples will help you to see the various challenges and solutions and how they might apply across from a framework perspective. So certainly an opportunity here, as you see, 7 different case studies here listed that you'll have an opportunity to really explore deeply. I'm getting that tapestry of ideas and that broadened scope of understanding. So a lot of opportunity for you here, all sort of leading up towards the culmination of the course here is a certificate of completion. And this is a chance for you to earn a credential from Imperial College Business School, a chance for you to formalize your training and really springboard into some career advancement opportunities. So if you're here to learn more about how you can springboard into the job market, how you can take your learning into your organization, into your professional role, how business analytics can help you within your career trajectory, certainly having a certificate of completion, a credential here from Imperial College Business School will go a long way in really formalizing that training for you and giving you that opportunity to launch forward and become more involved in business decision-making roles. So this is one of those big returns on your investment, is a chance to earn this credential. You'll have these frameworks of understanding from the case studies. You'll have your knowledge that you've taken away from the program. You'll have an opportunity to earn a credential. And in addition to all of that, you also have an opportunity to build relationships throughout your time in this program. So immediately upon entering the program, you're broadening out your professional network. You're gaining peers and colleagues from across the globe who you're learning shoulder to shoulder with. So you're seeing how these concepts apply to your organization, to your industry, to the work that you're doing, but you're also learning together with your peers. And therefore, you have that broadened understanding now as part of that peer network. And you also are taking those relationships with you after the program concludes. You'll be able to continue within that professional network. So some opportunity there for you as well, if you're interested in having sort of that alumni connection. That's baked into the program here. You also have an opportunity as you think about your learning to touch into the program for an entire year. So we took you through those course weeks, but you'll have access to this program for an entire year, which means after you conclude the program, after you earn the certificate of completion, you'll still be able to go back through, watch videos, take a look at those assignments, read through the frameworks of understanding and learning, connect with your peers, and continue that learning experience for an entire year. So a lot of opportunity here for you to fully immerse yourself in the process of learning and to continue doing that across time. So this course is one that will springboard you in to many other opportunities, both socially within your career and certainly other learning opportunities as well. This is our last and final slide that we want to showcase here today. And this is a picture of our course landing page. This is what the website looks like. And we want to invite you to go over to the website and get connected with an academic advisor. So we talk a lot about the relationships that you'll build in this program, the relationship with your faculty, Professor Wiesman and others, the relationship with your course leaders. These are a teaching team really helping you from that day-to-day level, giving you feedback on your assignments. You have a lot of relationships, a lot of growth here within the program. But all of that starts right here, right now, today. You don't have to wait until the program begins to find that support. You can find that support now by getting connected with an academic advisor. These are dedicated experts who know this program through and through. Our academic advisors are here with us on the line today. If you've put a question into the question box and you've gotten an answer, that is one of our academic advisors here supporting the session here and supporting all of you in your learning. So how do you get connected with an advisor? You'll see here, this is a picture of the course website here on your screen. And I'm going to take my stylus here and circle this blue Apply Now button here. If you go over to this Apply Now button and you click on it, it will give you an opportunity to download more information about the program and also to schedule an appointment with an academic advisor, one of the folks who's here with us live on the call today. So we encourage you, go on over to the landing page. How do you get there? How do you get to the course website? We have an email address you can use. We also have a link to the website. I think we've posted that here in the chat. Thank you. So if you open your chat box now, you'll see it listed right there in your chat box. There's a link, a small bit.ly that you can click on. And I'll take you right on over to our course landing page. And that's where you can find out more information and get connected with an advisor. So open up your chat. You'll see that clickable link right there in the chat for your convenience. But certainly explore that website, click on that button, put in your contact details, get connected with an advisor. They're going to be able to support you not only with your questions related to the course in terms of content, but also those logistical questions. When are the live sessions? You might want to get them on your calendar in advance. You might have questions about the evaluative criteria for that certificate of completion. How are we being evaluated in this program? You might also have a need for support around financing your educational journey here, and our academic advisors can certainly help you with that registration and enrollment process, and they can describe some of those financing opportunities. You can invite colleagues for special pricing, discounts. There are flexible payment options, group enrollment, and other areas to explore other benefits. So your academic advisor can give you some insight into some of those benefits and specials that we're helping to support you with here. So certainly get connected there. If you click on the link, you can go over to the landing page, but you can also get connected with an advisor by email. If you're more comfortable sending an email, we've posted that for you in the chat as well. The email address there is imperial@emeritus.org. So you can simply send us an email, let us know you need an advisor, and we will get you connected that way as well. But again, your advisors are going to be able to help support you with anything that you need as we're leading up to the beginning of this program to ensure that you have everything you need to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor here for any lingering questions. I see I'm sort of catching up in the chat right now. We've got folks dialing in from all over the world. I see from London, working in the food industry, really looking to find out more about who the program was designed for. So maybe this is a good question to kind of jump in on, Professor Wiesman, if I can invite you in. For folks who are interested in joining the program, are there any prerequisite knowledge or courses that they should take as we think about that tenure scale or that level of work experience? Who was the program designed for? And is there any prerequisite knowledge that folks will need to have in order to be successful in the program?
Thanks. Yeah, that's a very good question. Thanks for raising this. Broadly speaking, we designed this program to be suitable, very broad audience. So the idea is we pick you up through the primers. Some of you with plenty of experience in data science, for those, the primers might be easier and kind of review material that you're already reasonably familiar with. I think still interesting because we bring different examples, perhaps different insights. But for those of you that have less experience, these primers will bring you up to speed to what is needed later on. So I wouldn't say that that there are any specific requirements in the sense that you need to remember this and that of probability theory, or you need to be able to code in a language or something like that. Rather, the way I would see it is as follows. We plan for this, we expect you to spend about 4 to 6 hours a week on this program. Now, depending on your background knowledge, you can expect to lean more towards the 4-hour side or more towards the 6-hour side. That's a distinction that I would make. So if you're worried that your mathematical knowledge is a bit rusty, or you haven't yet done any coding, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that when you're planning in terms of the time that you are devoting to this course, make sure that you're planning more towards the upper end of 6 hours per week time investment rather than the lower end of 4 hours.
Absolutely. And certainly as you think about your level of experience, the other thing to keep in mind with the program is you're really able to design a schedule that works for you. As Professor Wiesman said, you've got that 4 to 6 hours that you're aiming for. But as you're designing the schedule, you're also able to think about other niche areas of interest you might want to dive more deeply into. So as you're getting into the program and you're beginning to learn, you might want to devote more time one week if it's particularly relevant to a current project you're working on. And there's flexibility within the platform to do just that. You're able to reach out to your colleagues, you're able to reach out to your peers, your teaching team, your course leaders, get additional resources, get your questions answered. No two cohorts of this program are the same. Each course really unfolds around the interests of the cohort. So it's a reciprocal learning environment, one in which you're contributing as well as receiving knowledge, and certainly an opportunity for you to not only design a schedule that works for you, but to have that flexibility to dive more deeply, to go further in, and to really be that driver of your own learning experience around your needs from week to week. So that high level of engagement is there, but you also have that high level of convenience and flexibility as you make your way through this program. So really an incredible course here, Professor Wiesman, designed in this kind of blended format for full-time working professionals, and certainly an opportunity for folks to advance their learning while also continuing to carry on in their full-time roles. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you there. You're bringing up a very important point that I forgot to mention as part of the answer. And that is really, this course is very much a high-touch course, in a sense that when you compare to other, let's say, MOOCs, for example, that are out there, you will have regular opportunities to speak to data science experts who can help you with your learning experience. So there will be regular office hours. If you have any questions about the topic, you can speak to those people. There will be regular live sessions with Alex and me that are recorded as well, where we are solving problems together and where we're discussing data science questions together. You can bring your questions there as well. So if you feel like you're not entirely sure whether you have the necessary prerequisites, part of the answer is we try to make very little assumptions about the knowledge that you bring along, and B, there's plenty of opportunity to get help if you feel like, oh, this is a concept that I didn't quite fully get. Let me ask somebody there. That's certainly one of the distinctive features of this program.
Yeah, this is a specialized, cohort model program. So there are other educational opportunities, as you said, MOOCs, massive open online courses. There's content out there, especially in today's day and age, you can go and sort of self-study. But an advantage of a program like this really is those activities, the chance to fully immerse yourself in the learning. We describe the pedagogical approach as bite-sized learning. So what that means is you're able to learn some new concepts through small video segments, and then step away and really roll up your sleeves and immerse yourself in discussions, activities, quizzes, opinion polls, other activities built throughout the program for you to engage with that knowledge, bring it to life before then moving on to the next set of concepts. So in that way, in the online space, we're really breaking down those barriers of space and time that are traditional in a classroom setting, opening up the incredible wealth of knowledge housed within faculty here at Imperial College Business School to all of you from across the globe without constraint, and to do so in a way that allows you to fully immerse yourself and learn as you go and on your own schedule. So a truly remarkable opportunity. Thank you, Professor Wiesman, for designing this course. It looks terrific and certainly an opportunity for folks to fully immerse themselves in this topic of business analytics. Do you need any coding background to be successful here in the program?
No, so that's a good point. Thanks, Marie. Also, when it comes to coding, if you have some background in some coding language, great. If you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. So we will start Python from scratch. So there is opportunity for you to learn it again with the asterisk that please bear in mind that you will probably spend more towards the 6-hour end of the timeline per week to catch up on the coding. But the idea is that you don't have to have prior coding knowledge to successfully complete this course. There is actually also a question in the chat, and that is a very good question. There are similar programs run by Emeritus in conjunction with other universities. What are this program's advantages over the other courses? Now, I'm afraid I'm not an expert in the other courses, so I will not be able to tell you all too much about them. I can say that I frequently have a look at the Emeritus website as well. And when it comes to choosing the right Emeritus course in the data science section, and there are indeed quite a number of courses now, which is great, there are a couple of things to look out for. First of all, the course length. You will see many of those courses differ in length, and that depends a bit on the time that you have available, the time that you can devote to yourself. So this program here is 4 months. There are longer programs on the Emeritus website, also shorter ones, of course. You may also want to check about the breadth of the program. So some of the Emeritus programs are focused on a particular field of analytics. They may be geared towards, for example, machine learning or statistical things. There are also courses that are focused on a particular area, for example, healthcare, etc. This course here is a broad course in the sense that we try to give an overview of all major areas of analytics. So we're covering both statistics as well as machine learning, as well as optimization, and we cover coding as well on top. That differentiates this program from some other programs. And of course, you may want to have a look at the level of technicality, which will differ amongst different Emeritus programs. If you are in doubt, if you see that there are 2 or perhaps even 3 Emeritus programs where you're not entirely sure which one is the right one, please do get in touch with Emeritus. They will be able to put you through to an expert who can tell you exactly the differences between the programs. So I feel qualified to talk about this program here. Honestly, I would not be the right person to tell you about other programs that I haven't designed. That would just not be fair if I would attempt to do that.
Absolutely. And I love the distinctions you made about, choosing the right program. And certainly there are logistical considerations, the length of the program, the estimated hourly time commitment, the pedagogical approach of the school. We talk about Imperial College School and sort of how it's designed around that transformative learning, really helping you to take your learning into a place of action. But what exactly does that mean from program to program? As you mentioned, some of these get really detailed and technical. Others others are really high level business decisions. Some were designed for, all folks to join and gain an understanding. Others are more for senior level executives. And so really being able to parse out which program to focus on, getting that academic advisor is going to be a crucial next step. So thank you, Professor Wiesman, for making those distinctions. And certainly you have options here at Imperial, you have options with your educational journey, and we hope you'll join us here for this program here at Imperial. From data to decisions, again, as Professor Wiesman said, designed to cross the gamut, to include many, many different backgrounds, industries, to give you that detailed understanding of what you need in order to drive business growth. So certainly an opportunity for you to do that and to take away from it new relationships with your teaching team, your peers, your colleagues, your advisors. This is a robust learning community, and we're certainly glad to be a part of it and hope you will join us. So Professor Wiesman, any final thoughts, words of wisdom you'd like to leave us with here today?
Yes, before I go to that, actually, there was one other question I would like to address, and that is, so how do we earn that certificate? What is the process there? Is there an exam, or what? How does that work? Let me briefly tell you about that. In order to get this certificate, it's not like it's not just a certificate that we hand out to everybody after you pay the program fee. There is actually value in that certificate. You are required to complete 7 out of 9 assignments. So there will be 9 assignments in total, which are Python based, and we ask you to complete 7 out of those 9 assignments. But just to be clear about this, we are this year is not like an undergraduate program, right? It is part of Imperial College Executive Education. So the way these assignments work is they are not to kind of grade you out or like anything like that. The idea is to give you feedback on what you have learned, and to give you advice on what to still further focus on. And of course, if you have any questions about these assignments, you can come to the office hours. So this is not an exercise kind of like in kind of like, do you pass this program or not? But it is part of this high touch characteristic of the program. It will make sure that you don't just listen to lectures, but that you also apply your knowledge on real data sets and truly understand how these things work and what kind of issues may arise. And in our experience, the participants do complete this program successfully, with potentially with help through the learning facilitators that will be at your hand. So that is the idea. There will be 9 assignments, out of which we ask you to complete at least 7. And there's a capstone project as well at the end that we ask you to complete. Again, there's lots of help available should you need it. There's also another question here. Let me see. What type of professional is this program aimed at? Thank you very much for this question. While we have a very broad audience, we sometimes have students that are studying something perhaps completely unrelated, but say, oh, I think in the type of work I want to do later on, analytics plays a role. We have a lot of professionals as well that may not have a background in analytics, and they realize, okay, in my line of business, analytics becomes a big thing, and I want to learn more about analytics, understand how I can apply it in my own company, or maybe I plan to move to another company or a different industry, and I want to upscale my competencies. That is a big group of participants that we have, as well as we have some participants that are already working in the analytics space, and they say, you know what, I use analytics in my day-to-day life, but I feel like I'm always copy and pasting stuff from websites without truly understanding what is going on there. I want to get the solid foundations to truly understand what I'm doing there and get the confidence that what I'm doing actually makes sense. So it's quite a diverse crowd there, which we believe is a big advantage of this course, because there will be plenty of opportunities for you to network with the people in your cohort. You'll see they come from all kinds of career stages, from the advanced student level that want to learn something additional, to professionals that are already working on analytics or that are planning to work on analytics in future. A common goal for many of the participants in my experience is to learn about analytics and to get also a certificate that kind of that is a formal acknowledgement of their progress in the objective of learning about analytics. This is not just kind of a certificate of a MOOC that you get by listening to a couple of online lectures. This is a recognized certificate from Imperial that obviously builds upon, let's say, the reputation of the university as well.
Thank you again, Professor Wiesman, for staying all the way up through the end of our questions and calling those out here live during the session today. It's been an absolute honor learning more about this program and learning from you about this topic. Can I ask you to jump back in one final time for any words of wisdom or advice to folks who are considering joining? I know you've given us a lot, but any final send off that you'd like to leave us with here today?
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. So first of all, let me try to give you a word of encouragement. And I think you have made quite possibly the most difficult decision on your journey as well. And that is the decision to start doing something about that desire to learn more about analytics. I think it's a great time to learn more about analytics. You can see, obviously, by just looking at the news that analytics is becoming ever more important. It will penetrate further pretty much every aspect of our life in future. And it's a good time to learn about that. And it's always the beginning that is the hardest. And I think you have done a great first step to look around what are the opportunities to learn more about analytics. There are many opportunities, right? Marie was saying it before as well. There are very good books on analytics. You can read them and further your knowledge. There are excellent MOOCs on analytics. We are trying to offer something here that we believe has some unique selling points. And of course, there are entire degree programs at my university and plenty of other good excellent universities out there. It is a scale in terms of different levels of time and financial commitments. Whichever point you choose on that scale, I think there are excellent choices to be made. I wish you all the success in that. Of course, I personally hope that I will see many of you in this program later on again. But the main thing that I want to say, please do follow through. I think it's an excellent time to learn about analytics. Do something about it. 2022 is a good year to start working on that. And the other thing that I would like to say is, do think about learning to program. That is an important step in analytics. We try to walk you through the ins and outs of programming in Python. I think Python is an excellent language to learn in the context of analytics. If you are thinking about what a right first step is, that might well be one of them, either through our program or by reading a book or whatever other options there are available as well. So I do hope to see many of you in future again. Thanks a lot for taking the time. As I said, the first step is often the most difficult one, and congratulations on taking that first step.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, there has never been a better time to explore this topic here in business analytics, as we see technology and digital transformation and the like, and being able to decipher the data is going to be a huge and critical part to any organizational success. So certainly now is the time to be thinking about these topics and to diving in and exploring. So we're glad to have you all with us. Thank you for joining. It's been an absolute honor learning shoulder to shoulder with each and every one of you today. And we hope to see you back in this program beginning just around the corner. So with that, we leave you with a heartfelt good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Thank you again for joining.